Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from AnthonysCustoms, and for this review we are looking at the DC Comics Multiverse Dawn of Justice Armored Batman. I'm going to say right off the top here, this guy is the best of the bunch. It's a really decent figure. It's not particularly great, but it's more than acceptable, and I'm pretty pleased with it overall. He stands roughly 17.5 centimeters, which makes him about 6 3/4 inches, right around there. And as you can see, he's got a lot of sculpt work going on. Basically everything on him is sculpted with details, lots and lots of details, whether it's just nicks and scratches or rivets or little plates or whatever. There's a lot of sculpt work going on this guy, and he's got a nice unique cape. It does have some sculpt work also. Hopefully you can see that texture on there. It's kind of very faint texturing, but I think you can see that. So that's not an accident, that's intentional, so that's pretty cool. I like that a lot. And I just like the overall look of the figure. Again, it's not perfect. There are some problems. Obviously, the paintwork isn't exactly the most immaculate, but it is painted. So we have the dark gray underneath, like for the shoulder area, and throughout, kind of like in the hips, underneath all of the metal plating. And then the metal plating is a lighter gray with the dry brushing on top, so that's pretty cool. We have the gold belt and some other accent pieces like on the boots here or up here. It's not bad. I think it's alright. And then the face is, it's not too bad. I think it looks pretty good actually. The eyes should be glowing rather than looking like they have Batman eyes underneath, so that's a problem. But if you were so inclined, a little bit of paint could fix that up in no time. And otherwise it looks pretty good. I mean, for a $20 figure, especially for a line that could have easily just gone and done super cheap stuff, I think they did a pretty darn good job. It's not super clean. You can see some paint bleed type issues around the collar there, and you know, it's not perfect, but it does look pretty good. As far as the articulation goes, the head can look up a little bit and look down a little bit, not a ton, but a little bit, and it has the full swivel. I wouldn't try to lean it side to side very much because you really can't, and if you force it, you could snap the peg. But it's technically on a ball peg, so you might have a little bit more motion than mine. It's just kind of like a factory type of issue, so good luck, but it's probably going to be mostly like mine. The shoulders are on a standard ball hinge, so they have pretty much the full range of motion, only limited by the sculpt, which isn't too bad. You still get full horizontal motion or movement. We have a bicep swivel, so that's pretty good. We have an elbow hinge that gives us 90 degrees. And for the first time I've ever seen on a DC-UC style figure, we get a swivel at the elbow also, which helps us in doing some posing, so that's pretty cool. And then for the wrists, we have a swivel. We do have an ab crunch, which is hidden very nicely in the armor. Unfortunately, it's hidden very nicely in the range of motion also. You just get to lean him back a little bit. You cannot lean him any more forward. So it's almost useless, which is disappointing, and I think if they were going to not make it effective, they should have just left it out and sculpted it a little thicker, a little nicer, use the money for the plastic rather than the articulation. But it's not a problem, it's just something that's there that doesn't work well. It's for a more expensive figure, it would be a problem, but for a figure like this, I can live with it just because the rest of the figure is not so bad at all. We do have a waist swivel, so that's good. The hips have really nice range of motion. You can bring the legs all the way forward. You can bring them pretty far back, and then you can bring them out to the side. And you'll see the crotch piece doesn't go too far below the actual joint for the hips, so it doesn't look super unnatural. So that's pretty good also. We have a thigh swivel built in to the sculpt, so that's hidden very nicely. We have a knee joint, which gives us about 90 degrees, a little bit less, but it's not too bad. And then we have an ankle hinge that works particularly well. So it's a really solid figure. I'm very pleased with it for the price point especially, and for expecting it to not be very good. I'm very happy with it. Additionally, he comes with this accessory, which looks really cheap, but he can hold it, and I'll show you in the photos at the end. So I'm okay with it. It's not the best figure I've ever purchased, but I'm certainly not dissatisfied with it, and I think you guys will like it a lot. Here he is up against Batman and Superman real quick, even though I'll have a photo at the end. So they're about the same size. Unfortunately, he should be a lot thicker. And up against Superman, he does look a little bit bigger. So that's alright. I'm pretty happy with it, and I think you guys will be too. It should be in stock at Big Bad Toy Store in the near future. So if you want to pre-order one, check out the link in the description below. I also posted it on my Facebook page a couple days ago. Actually, it was New Year's night. New Year's Day morning, New Year's Eve night. Posted that on there, so check that out. And stick around for the photos here at the end. And make sure you guys subscribe to the channel so you can see my upcoming figure reviews, custom figures, and other good stuff. And in the meantime, keep collecting.